Welcome to the WorldWire Update. Don't forget to subscribe and click the bell icon for more updates and thrilling short scenes. International trade just got a lot more interesting, and a whole lot more unpredictable. The world woke up today to a new reality, one that's sending shockwaves through every corner of the global economy. As of this morning, October 16, 2025, the world is facing a trade war that dwarfs anything we've seen before. Headlines are blaring, markets are in turmoil, and governments are scrambling to respond. The scale and speed of these changes are unprecedented. Retaliatory tariffs out of Asia have hit a staggering 300%. That's not just a number, it's a seismic shift in the cost of doing business, and it's sending shockwaves through supply chains that stretch across continents. That's not just a tax, it's a shot across the bow. It's a warning to the world that the rules of the game have changed, and no one is immune. American brands are reeling, and none more so than McDonald's, the global symbol of American fast food. For decades, the Golden Arches have been a beacon of familiarity in foreign lands, a taste of home for travelers and locals alike. A 300% import tax could turn a Big Mac into a luxury item overnight. Imagine walking into a McDonald's and seeing prices that rival those of high-end steakhouses. Suddenly, a simple meal becomes a status symbol, out of reach for many. This isn't just a business hiccup, it's an existential threat. Restaurants that once bustled with customers now sit eerily quiet, their future uncertain. Imagine being the CEO of a US company with billions invested in Asia. Overnight, your entire business model is upended. Years of planning, expansion, and investment are suddenly at risk, and the pressure to adapt is immense. It's like building a sandcastle for years, only to watch a political tidal wave wipe it out in seconds. All the effort, all the strategy, gone in the blink of an eye. The question now, is this the end of McDonald's in Asia? Could the Golden Arches really disappear from city skylines that once welcomed them with open arms? Are we witnessing the unraveling of globalization? The very fabric of international commerce is being tested, and the consequences could ripple for generations. McDonald's has always seemed like a constant, but extreme protectionism is making the unthinkable a real possibility. The world is learning that even the most iconic brands aren't immune to the forces of geopolitics. The fate of some of the world's biggest companies is now sizzling in the hot oil of a global trade war. Every decision, every policy, is adding fuel to the fire. The Golden Arches may not be as untouchable as we thought. Their future now hangs in the balance, threatened by forces far beyond the kitchen. The storm is here, and no one knows who will survive. As the world holds its breath, the fate of globalization and the icons it created hangs in the balance. How did we get here? The world's economic engine once ran on the promise of open markets and global cooperation, but that vision has been steadily unraveling. Years of escalating America First policies and tit-for-tat tariffs set the stage, as countries began to look inward, prioritizing their own industries over global partnerships. In August 2025, the US slapped a 50% tariff on Indian goods, responding to India's continued purchase of Russian oil. This move shocked global markets and sent ripples through diplomatic circles. India, feeling cornered and unwilling to back down, fired back with massive tariffs of its own, targeting American exports and signaling a new era of economic confrontation. China and India have now matched US protectionism, but with their own local flavor, tightening regulations, favoring domestic companies, and making it harder for foreign brands to compete. This isn't just a trade spat, it's a global game of economic chicken with each side daring the other to blink first. The stakes are higher than ever, and no one's swerving. American companies are caught in the crossfire, their global supply chains suddenly at risk. Factories stall, shipments are delayed, and uncertainty clouds every business decision. The US wanted to protect its interests, but instead, it's put a target on its own brands abroad. American icons are vanishing from foreign shelves, and consumer trust is eroding. The result? A mangled global supply chain and American businesses bleeding out in foreign markets. The ripple effects are being felt from small towns in the Midwest to bustling cities in Asia. The operation was a success, but the patient, globalization, is on life support. The world is left wondering, can we recover, or is this the new normal? India's response wasn't just economic, it was cultural. The Swadeshi movement, championed by Prime Minister Modi and figures like Ramdev, calls for a boycott of foreign brands. American companies like McDonald's, Coca-Cola, and Pepsi are now targets, painted as symbols of foreign intrusion. Indian companies are seizing the moment, marketing their products as patriotic choices. Even toothpaste ads have become battlegrounds for national pride. For McDonald's, being cast as the villain in a nationalist drama is a nightmare. The Golden Arches are now a lightning rod for anti-American sentiment. Why does McDonald's care so much about Asia? Because that's where the future is. India and China are massive, youthful markets with growing appetites for Western brands. For McDonald's, India isn't just another country, it's the grand prize. Domino's has more outlets in India than in the US. The scale is staggering. McDonald's has invested millions adapting to local tastes. Think Makalu Tikki, not Big Mac. They've built supply chains, trained local staff, and woven themselves into the fabric of Asian economies. Now, all that is at risk. The trade war has turned these dream markets into minefields. US companies, once pioneers of globalization, now find their biggest opportunities are also their greatest vulnerabilities. The billion consumer prize is still there, but surrounded by tariffs, boycotts, and political hostility. The future of McDonald's depends on surviving this storm. While politicians argue, the real fight is happening on the ground. Boycotts in India are loud, but the impact is mixed. Many consumers still value quality and price, yet anti-American messaging is everywhere, chipping away at brand loyalty. Even a moment's hesitation can cost a customer in the hyper-competitive fast food market. Indian companies are using patriotism as a marketing weapon, making every purchase a political act. For US brands, uncertainty is the new normal. One day Tesla opens a new showroom. The next, nationalist groups rally against American mascots. For McDonald's managers, planning for growth or bracing for backlash is a daily gamble. The ground war is relentless, and the outcome is anything but certain. In this climate, long-term business planning is nearly impossible. This trade war isn't just an overseas problem, it hits home too. Tariffs meant to protect American jobs are backfiring as foreign markets slam shut. US farmers, manufacturers, and tech companies all feel the pain when exports dry up. Every McDonald's closure abroad means less demand for American products and fewer jobs at home. The numbers are stark. What was meant to be America first is hurting American workers first. Wall Street is watching and the ripple effects are real. The government faces a tough choice: keep up the pressure, or listen to business leaders as the financial damage grows. The dream of American economic dominance is now threatened by its own policies. So, is this the end for McDonald's and other American giants in Asia? The question is more complicated than it seems. While headlines may suggest a dramatic exit, the reality is that these brands are deeply woven into the fabric of urban life across the continent. Their presence is not so easily erased, probably not. But the golden age of easy expansion is over. The days when American fast food chains could simply open new locations and expect instant success are fading fast. Now, every new store faces a maze of regulations, shifting consumer tastes, and political headwinds. What we're seeing is a painful reshaping of what it means to be a global brand. Companies must now navigate a landscape where being international is no longer enough. They must prove their relevance to local communities, often on a store-by-store basis. The days of exporting the American model with minor tweaks are gone. Instead, success depends on a willingness to reinvent menus, marketing, and even store designs to fit local cultures and expectations. Maybe this is temporary. Politics change, and so do policies. Trade tensions and regulatory crackdowns might ease, opening the door for a new wave of growth. But for now, uncertainty is the only constant. McDonald's is resilient. It may double down on localization and wait for calmer times. We could see even more region-specific menu items, partnerships with local suppliers, and creative marketing that speaks directly to Asian consumers. Or, the scars may be permanent, with trade wars and boycotts now part of the playbook. The risk of sudden closures or public backlash is higher than ever, forcing brands to tread carefully. Local companies have learned to use nationalism as a powerful tool. They're not just competing on price or taste, but on identity, encouraging consumers to choose homegrown brands as an act of pride. The future may be a fractured global market, with brands forced to adapt or retreat. We could see a world where global chains are no longer dominant, but just one option among many, each tailored to its own corner of the world. Most likely McDonald's will survive, but weaker and more cautious. The company will need to be more nimble, more responsive, and more humble than ever before. The era of the all-conquering American brand is ending, replaced by hybrid, local-first entities. These new versions will blend global know-how with local flavor, creating something entirely new. It's not the end, but it's the end of the world as they knew it. The next chapter for fast food in Asia will be written by those who can adapt, innovate, and truly understand the people they serve.